Well, it is the largest living thing on Earth and one of the wonders of the world. Now it's been given a price tag. The Great Barrier Reef is reportedly worth $42 billion, according to a new report by Deloitte Access Economics. The research found that the reef is the largest contributor to the Australian economy, with tourism accounting for more than 2/3 of its worth. The reef is also responsible for generating 64,000 jobs. Climate change remains the biggest threat to the reef, and experts warn there will be vast economic consequences if more isn't done to protect it. Well, Anna Marsden is the managing director of the Great Barrier Reef Foundation. She joins us now live from Brisbane. Hi, Anna. First of all, what do you make of actually attaching monetary value to the reef? Is that's what's needed actually to get the government to stand up and pay attention?
Attaching an economic value to the reef in itself doesn't protect or save the reef, but we think it's an important piece of the puzzle to help demonstrate just how important this ecosystem is to the Australian economy and in fact to the world. And we hope it will shift and promote some policy changes and for industry and business and government to step up and do more to protect the reef.
Because just how bad is the damage, and really how much time is left to salvage it?
Yeah, look, I think it's a really challenging story. The Great Barrier Reef is immense. It's the size of, in Australia we say 70 million football fields. It's the size of Italy. So it's a really large system. And even when you see images of coral bleaching or cyclone damage, they're really only impacting small parts of the Great Barrier Reef. So even today, with all these threats, the Great Barrier Reef still remains the most beautiful and largest reef in the world. It's still a gorgeous place to visit, to dive, to fish, to all these wonderful things. However, it is under immense threats. And if we don't do more over the next 30 years, we will see big parts of the Great Barrier Reef. We will lose it. We will lose it before our eyes.
Now, why explain that? Why will it be lost? Is coral bleaching, which is essentially the biggest problem the reef faces, is that permanent damage?
No, coral bleaching, it does, there is a coral mortality. You can lose coral cover through coral bleaching. But essentially, the Great Barrier Reef is a hugely resilient system. It bounces back very well. However, since climate change and changing in climatic conditions around the world, there are more and more, the frequency is increased of the events like coral bleaching. So the reefs around the world, it's not just happening in Australia, but to coral reefs all around the planet, they're just not being allowed to bounce back, to recover from all of these events. So the the accumulative impact over the next 3 decades will mean that some reefs simply will not be able to regrow in time to have any kind of integrity or functionality. And that's what everyone's very concerned about. However, there are marine scientists and conservationists working on this problem right now, trying to boost the resilience of these systems and also trying to remove some of the roadblocks to allow coral reefs to be rebuilt, repaired, restored following big events like cyclones.
Okay. Anna Marsden joining us there from Brisbane. Thanks so much for that.